Thank you for being a friend.
Oh, yeah.
Travel down the road and back again.
Hey, so we started from the bottom, now we're here, girl.
It's true.
Oh, yeah.
Pal and a confidant.
This is my part right here. Ooh, oh. If I did everything, the biggest gift, the biggest. Thank you for being my friend. Oh, yeah.
What is going on? What is going on? Everybody in the house, what is going on? Wake up in Cleveland every single morning.
I wake up, flex, I'm down now. Check, no drip, this wet. Tell 'em run it up. No sleep, no rest. Might crash, might wreck. But first I stretch. Tell 'em run it up. I wake up, flex, I'm down now. Check, no drip, this wet. Tell 'em run it up. I wake up, flex, I'm down now. Check, no drip, this wet. Tell 'em run it up.
What is going on? What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? What is going on? Wake up in Cleveland. Starting out, very, very interesting morning today. Hope everybody's doing okay. I am doing just fine. We're going to be bringing on the lovely, lovely Rye Toast in just a few minutes. She's got some time. I see her in the green room. Take your time. We got at least a few minutes. We want to ramp up the numbers here. People are a little slow to come to the stream today. I have to admit, I'm a little shocked. I know it's early, but it's not that early. I mean, I think we've been used to the delay, but people ask, why do you have the music in the beginning? And well, obviously, this is why I have the music in the beginning, because you never want to bring on a guest to three people. That's not how we work here. So we're gonna do what we do. We're gonna chat a little bit before we bring on the guest, because that would be disrespectful to the guest to bring them on at lower levels. That's just not what we do here. Yeah. So thank you guys for hanging out today. As T Diesel said, even though I'm not on screen, I do see all the chat. I always see the chat. Chat's always available to me. But, thank you. Oh, hope everybody's doing well on this fine Thursday morning. Every so often I keep thinking whether or not I'm going to keep the Thursday morning. or not because of the Wednesday morning show and then the Thursday morning show or the Wednesday afternoon show. And, we'll see. We'll see. Still trying to figure that part out. Mondays are very, very good. Thursdays are questionable. But either way, I want to thank everybody for hanging out today. You guys are the reason that I do this, and I appreciate every single person for getting up, and wanting to be involved. Before we push on, I need everybody to do what we always do and make sure that we host the stream. Let everybody know what we're doing today, because that's really, really important to get the word out. We need to host a stream. You need to share the stream. Throw it up in your chat. Throw it up on your IG. I saw Ritos posting some stuff. I should probably re-forward that. That's not a good host if she's adding things to stories and I'm not adding things to my stories. So let's put that up there and make sure that everybody gets the word out. So it is again Thursday morning. Let's do a little room check. Let's see who's in the room so far, because we're gonna have a good old time. We got see, this is how you know, by the way, because Ritos, she's been on. She got on the stream before I even got on the stream. That's important. That's what we like to see. Because sometimes I get on the stream and I'm just crossing my fingers that people show up. It does happen. Anyway, DJ Dromo in the house. What's going on, fam? T Diesel, that's one of the mods. Moderator extraordinaire. Frederick Larson hanging out. Thank you so much on the YouTube side. DJ Big V, DJ Chris Michaels. Who else we got? We got Amiv. I'll never get that right. Is it Amiv 4 or Amy V4? Let me know in the chat. Give me some phonetics. It's okay, Frederick. You do your thing. We're not mad at you. Who else we got in here? DJ TJM's in the house. Discount Muffins, DJ Flaves, Chris Michaels. Good to see you. Once again, thank you for hanging out. And Animal Chang in the building. How is it going? DJ Big V and DJ Elemental in the house. Good to see you on the Wake Up Show. And it is legitimately the Wake Up Show. For me, it's like waking up and then walking out and making a cup of coffee, drinking my non-sponsored vitamin water. One day vitamin water. One day. It's gonna take a little bit of time. I don't have the numbers for vitamin water sponsorship yet, but it'll happen. I have faith in it. You gotta have faith in everything that you do, right? That's what we're talking about here. Very, very important. As I have said, I think the YouTube people are starting to get the message, though. To be honest, because the numbers are switching. So that's very, very important. Mighty Rel in the house. What's going on, man? Feedback Entertainment. Good to see you guys. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you. Because as I said before, and I will keep saying this at least until midway through the show, or maybe not. This show, the Wake Up in Cleveland show specifically, will not be on YouTube after the end of the month. It's going to be exclusively a Twitch show. I'm not leaving YouTube. All my static content, all the things that I normally do on YouTube will remain on YouTube. But this show will only be on Twitch. A couple of reasons why. First off, I'm now a partner on Twitch, so you're not supposed to dual stream, one stream at a time. And I think YouTube is the same way. I just never thought about it. So after the end of the month, we will be gone, and there are some amazing amazing guests coming on in the month of March. In the month of March. I said it yesterday, but in case you didn't know, maybe we got some new people. Who do we have on? We got Trays will be on. Trey Z. We got Arabian Prince from NWA. He'll be on the show. DJ Shorty will be on the show. I hope DJ Angelo will be on the show. Who else we have? DJ Scene will be on the show. E-Rock. I'm working on people. Heavy will hopefully be on the show at some point. He will. It's just a matter of time. But it's taken we've had some road blocks, some stumbling blocks, so it's taken a little time. But we got lots of people on the show, and the live portions will only be on Twitch. So that's it. So you might see clips on YouTube after, like a day afterwards, but that'll be as far as we go. All my static content will be there. As a matter of fact, for anybody that doesn't know, well, everybody knows. I mean, I use a lot of mixers, and I'm currently on the S11, and but my guy at Innofader, today's Thursday. My guy at Innofader is sending me a brand new Innofader Pro to put in my Rain 70. So you're going to see a video. I think we'll do that video today. We'll shoot that video. It's assuming that it gets shipped to the house properly. We're gonna go through and we're gonna install the Innofader into the Rain 70, and we'll hopefully post that video maybe tomorrow, actually. Yeah. DJ Rel in the house. What's going on, fam? That is my guy, DJ Rel. Make sure you guys are following DJ Rel. Super dope individual. Same thing with his every time. The same thing with his wife. She is J. It's so weird calling her your wife now, man. It's so weird. Maybe because we weren't able to like share it together, so I'm having trouble connecting the two. But make sure you follow J Rose too. She is J Rose. Yeah, it is great people. That's fam right there. So make sure you're doing that. DJ Big V, thank you for the subscription, fam. Appreciate you. DJ T Diesel, no more smoother ducking echo while I'm testing the Rain 70. No, but there is a ducking echo on the Rain 70. A lot of people don't know that. Rain has a ducking echo. It just doesn't work the same. Like, not even close to being the same. It's fine, but not the same. Victor Moan in the house. What is going on? All right, so let's see who else we got in the house here. Philip Tan in the house. Hey, good to see you, fam. Good to see you. So I started following Philip Tan. He's doing some DJ related tech YouTube stuff. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. I watched your video yesterday. Good stuff. TTV Tiger Raid TV. I'm not even sure. Okay. I hope that's a raid and not spam bots. Tiger Raid in the house. Tiger Raid TV. What is going on, Tiger Raid? Thanks for hanging out today. Appreciate you. All right. Tiger Raid in the house. Good to see you guys. So in case you guys are new to this, we are real. So there's this thing that's been going on for anybody that wants to know. And by the way, thank you guys for the raid. Appreciate you. We are about to bring on DJ Right Toast in the house. DJ Right Toast in the house. It'll be a good time. But there has been a couple of issues lately on Twitch with questionable raids. And this hopefully this isn't one of them. But we never know because there's a lot of chat happening right now. So we'll keep an eye on that. But thank you guys for the raid. Appreciate you guys for hanging out. So this is I lost my train of thought when I saw that raid. Because there's no emotes. It's all words. So, but that's okay. Thank you guys for the support. Appreciate you. We are bringing on Ritos in just a minute. She is a fantastic DJ, but more importantly, at least from what I've seen, and the good thing about this show is this is all just real kind of freestyle. So when I bring on guests, there's no conversation before, there's no prearranged questions. It's just, let's get to know each other on stream. And I know for some people that's weird, but for me, that's how I work. I like it to feel like we're all just hanging out at a party. You remember those things we used to do, parties. We'd all hang out together and chat and have a good time. That was 30 years ago. But I like to just kind of be that fly on the wall. You know, if you're sitting next to somebody and they're having a conversation with somebody, and it's like that conversation is interesting, and you don't want to step in, but then again, you're like, I kind of want to talk too. That's the environment we're bringing up here. So thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for the raid. Appreciate that. DJ L35 in the house. What is going on, fam? Good to see you. Now, because this is a look, I'm not going to say this is a serious conversation. However, we are trying to keep or maintain a level of respect. So I'm looking in the chat, and I'm trying to make sure that we have people that want to be here in the chat. So I appreciate the raid, guys, but if some of you don't want to be here, I get it. There's lots of channels out there. But for everybody else that's here that wants to hang out, that wants to do this, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. A couple of more shouts out before we bring on Rye Toast. DJ Vic Damone in the house. T Jams, Sound House. Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I just try to give information, man. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for the kind words. And thank you for hanging out today. Okay. Boom, Bap Kids, Silent John in the house. What's going on, man? What is going on? Good to see you. That's my guy. Appreciate you. Make sure you are hosting the channel. It's weird. We finally are up to a respectable level, but for a minute there, I was like, people just don't like me anymore, I guess. It's okay. It happens. Real DJ AK47 in the house. What is going on? Thank you for hanging out. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring on Ritos in just a second. We're going to go to our standard commercial because that's what we do, just to make sure that we are prepared for this thing and I can get my earbuds in and do all the things I need to do. Sit tight for just a second. Enjoy the commercial, and we will begin to bring her on. So sit tight. I really need a button here for this. That would make this a lot easier. Okay, look, I know you think this is a little weird that we're sitting here talking and I just left and I was in a completely different outfit. Well, that's future me. I'm past me. So what I want to talk to you guys a little bit about while they're setting up for this next guest that's coming on, and I'm sure they're going to be dope, but I want to talk to you a little bit about ways to support the channel. You see, there's a lot of work that goes into this channel, and the only way to keep it going, the only way to keep bringing on new people and upgrading the sets and upgrading the intros is by you supporting me. So here's a couple of ways that you can support me, and I'm not sure that a lot of you know this. If you're new to Twitch, you want to look down right here. There's a little subscribe button. That's the easiest way to support me. It's like $5. It's like buying me a cup of coffee. If we're at the bar, you're buying me a beer. If you're feeling a little more generous, maybe you want to gift somebody a free sub. If you are a Prime member, you can use your Prime membership. You get one per month. You can use that on me. It doesn't cost you anything. Now, if you're sitting there on the YouTube side, you can also hit that membership button right there, or you can give me a super chat and then send me off a tip. Look, I know that times are tough, money's tough, and I know that what I'm asking for some of you people might be a little too difficult. So there are other ways that you can help the channel. You can host the stream, share the stream. If you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, share the stream to everybody. Get the word out. That's the easiest way to help me out, and that doesn't cost you a dime. Those are just a couple of ways that you can do this. I think they're coming back, so I need to get out of here. Just remember what I said. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Mr. Ponton, I believe you have a filter turned on in the video settings. You might want to take
We're
a look.
trying to, can you hear me, Judge?
I can hear you. I think it's a filter.
It is, and I don't know how to remove it. I've got my assistant here. She's trying to, but I'm prepared to go forward with it. I'm here live. I'm not a cat.
I can see that. I think if you click the up arrow next to this.
This thing comes off the screen. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome to the stage DJ Rytos. What is going on, girl? Good to see you. Good to see you. Thanks for hanging out today.
Good to see you too. Thank you so much for having me. Good morning, everybody.
It is not a problem. To be honest, so when I started this stream, this show, and I started bringing on guests, it was always a selfish thing. It had everything to do with what I wanted and less about what other people wanted. I wanted to make sure that I brought people out that could help the community and they could show the community what they're doing and inspire and go forth. However, when I watch people and I see something that I think is like, okay, I like what that person's doing. That person's operating on a completely different level. I want to bring those people out. And I think you're one of those people that obviously, you know, you're a dope DJ, but everything else that you're doing is so refreshing. I guess that's the word I want to say.
Wow, thank you so much for saying that.
I tell no lies. Anybody in the chat will tell you that I'm very, very upfront and honest with people. So yeah. So thank you for hanging out today. I know it's an early morning. So let's talk a little bit about you. I think we can probably go back to, which I always typically do, is go back to kind of the beginning of quarantine and kind of figure out, you know, where you were. I was watching another interview that you did, and from what I remember, you had just done Sway on Shade 45. You had just been a guest DJ on there and out of New York. So what was your life like prior to quarantine? And then obviously now.
That was a really interesting moment because it was almost a year ago. I believe it was like March 4th or 5th, something like that. And I flew to New York from LA where I live to do the show, but I also have family in New York. So it was great to visit my mom and my dad and also get to play some gigs and meet Sway. And, but as it was happening and as I was like, my head was like locked into getting my set ready and traveling, the pandemic was like coming on hardcore. So, I mean, my flight was fine. I got there. My mom's like, what do you think about this thing that's happening? I was like, I don't know. I can't really like focus on that right now. I just need to do this show. The next morning, got there, did Sway, didn't sleep all night. Got, you know, you have to get up at like 5 a.m. to make it in for Sway on time. Mm-hmm. And then like once that was over with, I just like went through my trip, but like the pandemic was coming on stronger and stronger. And I did a gig in Brooklyn, and like the next day, all this stuff got shut down. And I somehow made it on my flight home, made it back home to LA. And like the next day, it was like the NBA's canceled. The world is stopping. Like everything's different now. So it was interesting. Like at that time, I had pretty much a world tour on the books for March and April and May.
Okay.
I had gigs.
Who were you? I was gonna say, who were you with? Were you opening for or playing?
I had with? DJ gigs all over the country, all over the world. I was doing a yoga retreat in Bali, and I had booked gigs around Asia to do like before and after that.
Right.
So it was heartbreaking to have to cancel all that.
I can only imagine, especially when it's you know, just you handling all, not so much you handling all the booking, but it's you're the persona, the act that people are hiring on. You know, I own a DJ company, so all of my clients were like, "Oh, we can't have parties." Okay, well, we can postpone, or you know, we're gonna hold off.
Mhm.
But people are expecting you, and I'm sure that if you don't show, or if you can't show, it's a way different situation. You know, I'm sure they're like, "Okay, well, we're not gonna have you now, so give us deposits back, give us whatever back that we've already given you, you know, for this trip, because you're not going to be here anymore."
Yeah, yeah. A lot of money that I thought was mine wasn't anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you know, but it was a great, you know, out of the hardest times, like really like cool shit is always born. So
Yes.
basically that same week as we're all experiencing this, and everyone was really understanding too, which I think is cool. Like it's like what you were, the way that you open the show, you're like, you're very open with what you're doing. Like maybe I'm doing this segment right now, but I don't know if it's working, so it might not always be here. Like one of the great things about this year is I feel like the third wall has really come down, and
Yes.
we're not all out here trying to act like we know everything and we're perfect. Like we're all figuring it out, and
Mm-hmm.
it's always been like that, but now we're just being more open about it, which makes everything feel a little more relaxed and just more real to me.
Well, and everybody's going through it at the same time, so it's not
Right.
like one person is doing so much better than another. So it's completely different now. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, yeah, it's very humanizing. And so
Mm-hmm.
it made me realize how much pressure I've always been putting on myself to like appear perfect and like, you know, have my skills like where I think they should be, and my content where I think it should be. And now I'm just more like, well, this is what it is. Like I'm scrappy, I'm figuring shit out as I go, and
Mm-hmm.
this is raw and it's real. And it makes the whole process of like creating a career a lot easier. It takes a lot of the pressure off.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%.
Yeah. It's nice. It's like, and why, like life was hard before this anyway. I don't know why we were going around acting like we all had it figured out. So that same week that everything got shut down, I've been a career yoga teacher. Like I've taught yoga full time for basically a decade. And the last few years I took a little break because I was touring with a band, and I just wanted to focus on that for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
But I have these amazing mentors that I learned with up in the Bay Area. And when everything got shut down, they called me to teach for them because they were like, we're doing everything virtual, so you could actually still teach for us even though you live in LA.
Right.
And I didn't even think. I was just like, yes. And so the world shut down, and like I had to cancel a world tour, but I got this call that like reconnected me with teaching, which is like definitely one of my callings in life, is just helping people empower themselves through yoga, because that's what yoga did for me. So to be able to be back in that field again with where I'm at in music and DJing has been really dope. And I mean, this year's been hard, but I'm so grateful to be reconnected with one of my purposes, you know?
Now, and it's interesting that you would say that, because I know that's one of the things that you're doing right now, and we can get into that, which is this DJ. Was it DJ Beats and Yoga? Is that what it's called? What do you call it?
My yoga project is called Yoga and Mixtapes.
Yoga and Mixtapes. Thank you very much. Yeah, and I think a lot of people. And by the way, Stress TV in the house. That is Jetpack Bags. By the way, do you own a Jetpack bag?
I don't, but I love them.
Jetpack bags are my guys. They are super dope. I always recommend Jetpack bags. They don't pay me for that, but I always recommend them because they're super dope individuals. Yeah, maybe, especially for a touring DJ like yourself, Obviously, we're not touring right now, but maybe stress. We could arrange for a Ride Toast to get a jetpack bag at some point. So throw that in your coffer. They're really 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 good guys. Good guys.
Yeah, they'd be amazing. I met I think Will from Jetpack at NAMM last
Mhm.
year, and my homegirl girl Alora, she always rocks her jetpack with like her little monogram on it, and it looks
Yes.
so like they're so streamlined. My DJ bag is so clunky.
Yeah, well, that's the good thing about Jetpack. It's so funny. It's literally like a commercial because I'm about to break down. This what's good about Jetpack is like,
What's
but
the stress?
exactly. But good guys, and your logo, which is the Lamborghini logo.
It's
with
for
is it Ferrari? Okay, I
Yeah.
always because it looks like the badge of the Lamborghini. But it has a horse unicorn, right?
yeah.
Okay. Now, first off, that translates very well onto jetpack bags. They can do all colors, so you'll get a nice little, beautiful, popping bag.
What?
But
I didn't know that.
yeah,
Cool.
yes, definitely. It's funny because I did the same thing. So they came out with their new line of bags, and they sent me a bag, and then I created a new logo, the one in the right hand corner, and they're like, "Oh, we'll give you a new bag." I'm like, "Great." I didn't realize in my brain that I could have done it any color I wanted. So I just did like a standard like white on black, and it's great. But I was like, oh, I probably should have made that pop a little more because you can do anything you want. So
Very cool.
jetpack bags. They'll send me my non-check soon. I appreciate them. But those are my guys. But anyway, so tell me where the logo design came from, the idea behind that.
Gosh, I really like the coat of arms shape. To me, has always been really cool. I love magical shit like unicorns. I've ridden horses my whole life. I'm like one of those weird horse people, but I also like magical things. So I think unicorn was like the perfect sort of. People used to call me that. I think that's kind of how it started. Was like people would be like, "You're kind of like a unicorn. You like do yoga and you DJ and you're like hardcore about all this shit, but then you're hella spiritual and light about all this shit. Like you're just like one of those people that doesn't fit into a box. You're a unicorn." And I really liked that. That resonated with me. I love horses, and so I just went with that. And one day I saw the Ferrari logo. I was just like, dude, if I just put a little unicorn horn on that and like flipped it to be my color scheme, that would be a sick logo. And
for all the people that want to know, that's the logo right there. Great logo. Great logo.
It's standing the test of time, which is cool.
So was that your first and only logo? Like you never made any refinements? That was the one?
No, I've had a bunch. I have like, you like get ideas and then you get someone to design them and then you're like, I don't know.
Trust me. Yeah. I think every DJ in the world has gone through that, especially considering that a lot of DJs change their names. Like they just, I'm this person right now. I'm this person. Like Cleveland Terry is actually my real name, but it took forever.
I love that.
To get to that. Yeah. But it took forever to get to that. So it was.
So you had a different DJ name before you used your regular name?
I had so many names. I had, so I had City Boy, which made sense. It was my producer name because I make music too. And it was just my initials. So it was, CT, so City Boy, with my last name is Bowen. So it was all I's, whatever. But I did things like DJ Snickers, like the Snickers bar. I took a Bible quote once because I'm like, oh, well, this is a dope quote. Let me take this quote. But I spent more time explaining what the hell the quote was and why it made sense versus actually like DJing. So I cut that, and it finally, City Boy. I got older, and I was just like, I was thinking of names, and I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna go by my real name, which is ironic because my real name gets far more questions than any other name I've ever gotten. Nobody believes my name is Cleveland. They just think, oh, he's from Cleveland. Because I saw your post and you said you were going to be on, and the location was Cleveland, Ohio, and I was like, okay, yeah. But That's my name. It's my first name. It
I
is
like
what it
that.
is.
It's really
So yeah,
it's nice off the tongue. Cleveland.
it's funny because like I didn't go by Cleveland to begin with. I mean, when I was growing up, my mom called me Terry. The only person that called me Cleveland was my younger sister for whatever reason, and like bill collectors. Like they're the only people that call me Cleveland. So when I went by Cleveland, um, it was different for a moment. And some people call me Cleveland, some people call me Terry, some people call me CT. I always say CT in my emails because it seems to people don't know what to say in like when they send me emails or they're like to whom it may concern. It's like you can call me CT and make it easy on you.
Yeah.
But for you, you weren't always dry toast. I heard a story from you that you were at one point when you were first starting out, your alter ego or your alias that you were using when guys would try to hit on you was
You did your
your
homework.
alias. I do my homework. But your alias was anytime people would come up to you, you were like, "Oh, I'm a DJ. That's what I do, and my name is DJ Veronica, right? DJ Veronica."
Well, I would tell people my name was Veronica. Like, when people try to talk to you and you're just kind of trying to blow them off. I was a lot younger too. I was like in my early 20s, like out drinking and partying. So I'd be like, "Oh, I'm Veronica." I always liked really girly names because my name is Ryan. So I grew up with a boy's name, and I can totally relate to like always having to explain your name to people. Like they just can't take it at face value. They're like, "Wait, Ryan, but like, how do you spell it?" But like, you're a girl,
Right.
like, and I'm like, just call me Ryan. It's fine. But yeah, so I was really into like making up lies and just talking to people. So I would just like make this person up. I had like this cool, feminine, sexy name. And then when they asked me what my job was, I was like mostly bartending and waitressing at the time. I would tell them what my dream job, just say, "Oh, I'm a DJ." And I think at some point I was like, wait, why don't I just like try and do the job that like I'm lying about wishing I had?
Right.
That works.
So you were around 20. So
Mhm.
are you telling me that when did you start actually DJing?
I got myself turntables for my 21st birthday.
Okay.
And that's the
Gotcha.
day I started like trying to figure it out, DJing. I wasn't like a professional DJ, like getting paid and playing out for years later. Like I did a couple of gigs in college, and then I started dating a DJ, and I kind of put my turntables to the side because I felt like kind of weird learning around him. But then when he dumped me, I was like, I'm moving to the West Coast and I am doing this shit. So look out. And that's what I did.
Yeah, it sometimes it takes something hard to like be like, screw this, I'm gonna do my thing now. I'm tired of being the second fiddle.
I'm
So,
saying
interesting.
now that's like something I tell myself whenever I'm going through a hard moment, because I've learned that lesson so many times in my life. The hardest things, the things that break your heart so much, end up being the biggest blessings. As soon as you can just like let go of whatever you thought was supposed to happen and just open your mind up to like what new doors there are, as soon as you can get through that emotional process, the sooner you're going to start to receive this whole new round of blessings. So in those moments where I'm like down on the ground, like crying and upset or depressed or anxious or whatever, it helps to be like, out of this, something amazing is going to come. And that's usually when I can start to like calm myself down and just keep it moving.
Gotcha. So, now, obviously, for a lot of people, not everybody, but starting DJing at like 20, 21, 22, whatever, that's kind of late for a DJ, to say, I want to be a DJ now. I'm gonna learn.
True.
Where, I guess, would people I think want to know, because there's a lot of people that are kind of thinking about making transitions to whatever it is. It could be a DJ. It could be I want to be a actor or whatever. How did you know or believe that I'm just going to be a DJ? There is a road for me here, and I'm going to get to it, and I'm going to be successful doing this. Because I think a lot of people would want to know that, especially, you know, at 20, 21 years old. You know, how did you have so much faith in the process? I guess I would ask.
Yeah, I mean, I've always kind of been, I guess, late, like in a lot of other people's time frames. Like, I'm a late bloomer. I've done everything later than everyone else. But like, to me, I'm right on time. So I try not to compare myself to that. I never thought at 21 that I was late to the game. I was just like coming from a place of being so obsessed with hip hop and like listening to all the hip hop I could get my hands on, babysitting and pumping gas so I could buy records, buy CDs. And then when I got to college, I was in a really small town called Burlington, Vermont, but it had a thriving hip hop community and scene. And it was like the midway point between Boston and Montreal, where like a lot of big hip hop acts would tour. And so they would, like, big hip hop acts would come through and play this one small venue that we had called Higher Ground. It's still there, but it's a lot bigger now. So I could go and see like Wu-Tang Clan with like 100 people there on like a Tuesday night. And being like the only woman, not the only woman, but like, you know how there's not a lot of girls at hip hop shows for the most part. So it's a great experience because like there's no line in the bathroom, like guys are hitting on you, the music's great, you don't have to buy drinks. I was like, I can go right to the front, you know, people are gonna help me get to the front. That's where I want to be. And I remember watching these acts. I'll never forget seeing Redman and Method Man there, falling in love with like the underground scene, like Atmosphere used to come through there.
Oh, nice.
DJ Z Trip, like firsthand, real close there on like the Cali Com tour in like 2007 with Grouch and Eli. And this one show I went to, it was DJ Spooky.
Okay.
And the openers, who I went early, I didn't know who the openers were, but they're the Coop from the Bay Area, from Oakland. Mm-hmm. And their DJ was Pam the Funkstress. And I had never seen a female DJ before. Like, so I got there early, I got my little spot, my little drink, and I start watching the first band, and I'm like, holy shit, like they're really funky. And then Pam's the DJ, and she had such an aura about her, such a confidence about her. And it wasn't like she was trying to be sexy or get that kind of attention. She was just really about it. And then she whipped out her titty, put it down on the record, started scratching, and I was just like, what the, like, I didn't know that girls can even do this job, and there she is, titty out, doing it to the max. And something clicked for me because, you know, representation is really important. And if you don't see someone like you doing something, you might not ever think it's possible. Like, you never saw a colorful jetpack, so you didn't think to order a colored one, you know? Same type of thing. So basically, like, I just was so in love with everything that had to do with hip hop. Like, the art I was making was hip hop based. The music I was listening to was hip hop. I couldn't really dance, but like I loved moving my body to hip hop. And like, I didn't really see myself as an MC, but I just felt like I didn't just want to be an observer of this community anymore. I really loved it so much. I wanted to find a way in and be a part of it. And I felt like DJing was my way in. And so that's what I started trying to do. And
who, I guess, where did you learn from? Who were your mentors, and you know, over your time? Yeah.
The first few years of my career were all self-taught. I would randomly, like, I was working in bars and clubs a lot, so I was listening to like a lot of great DJ sets, which it's not really how you learn like the technical art of DJing, but you definitely learn about the energy
learn
that happens between
energy
music
and vibe.
and an audience.
Mhm.
You see how music affects the tone of the environment, and you're in the crowd talking to people, and so you can feel how their attitude is, and you can hear how like, oh, when someone train wrecks, like that fucked up the whole
What it
flow.
does.
Yeah. So like I was picking up about how to blend and like how to like weave energy together and take people on a journey. That was all kind of becoming part of my my mind.
Mhm.
And then learning beat matching was a real struggle for me. I had a couple DJs help me with it. Like back in the day when I was first starting, people were coming over to my house and like digging through my little record collection. And like I had a roommate who was a rapper. So it was like a community thing. And like I had this one DJ, I remember his name was DJ Create. He was like, here, this is how you beat match. And he taught me how to like count BPM.
Bars. Uh-huh.
That was really hard for me. Like coming from a non-musical background, that was one of the hardest things for me to learn. And when I got it, it felt so good. And because we were all on records, so like it was a lot harder to train your ear without having the added help of being able to watch waveforms and stuff. So
it was a completely different time frame, but
yeah.
but you're a much stronger DJ by using your ear than waveforms any day of the year.
Right. And I still try to practice like that, and I still try to practice on vinyl just to keep my ears sharp, because you can lose that sensitivity when you play on Serato too much. So like first few years I was just kind of like eking through it on my own, and then I got to San Francisco and started getting gigs like pretty quick, and I was really bad. Like I barely knew what the fuck I was doing. But I had like, you know, my foot was in the door, and I was like, I don't care. I'm just going to try as hard as I can. And it wasn't until like I moved to LA and I started DJing with my band, Tyrone's Jacket. And that really made me want to intentionally pursue a DJ education. And that was actually like a month after our first tour, the Beat Junkies opened up the Institute of Sound here in Glendale. Yeah. So that was when I was like, okay, it's time to like, it's time to kick this up a notch, like go and learn from the best.
Gotcha.
So that's when I started taking lessons and enrolling in their courses. And I still use a lot of the stuff I've learned from them. I still feel like I am learning from them, even though I'm not like actively enrolled in a class right now. And also I've met, hey babe, my husband just got home. I also was able to meet DJ Shorty through them. So I started taking private lessons with her too. Hey, say hi.
Hey, what's up?
How's it going, man? Good to meet you.
Sorry to interrupt.
You're good. You're good.
So yeah, only like three-ish years ago that I was like, okay, I'm really gonna start studying this now. What's up? Let's learn.
So that's interesting to me. And I think it's strange because I think a lot of people are kind of in the same boat. Like for me, I've been DJing for a long, long time. So that's never been an issue. Beat matching, mixing, you know, flair, whatever. But like the thing I never had was really a solid foundation in scratching. Like I could scratch, but it was like, no, I want to be able to like scratch. Like if somebody said, here's a minute and a half, go in. You know, like exactly. And I never was able to do that. Like I had my go-tos. So it's interesting that you would say that you never really know not so much you never really know, but the age that you learn it is the age you're supposed to learn it. And whenever that is when it is. So I have made it a point to start scratching daily now to improve and to get better at it. And I get people all the time that'll ask me questions, YouTube or whatever. Hey, I'm this age. Can I still do this? Am I too old to do this? It's just like, you need to answer your own question. If you don't think you can do it, then yes, you're too old to do it. But there's no number assigned to your growth as a human being. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's very,
Absolutely.
very interesting.
Absolutely. And like when I started going to the Beat Junkies, I was kind of in a weird place with DJing, like in general. Like I had moved to LA and kind of set up a little bit of a foundation here in terms of like being in the scene and getting gigs and making it work. But I was also like, this is getting kind of boring to me.
Mm-hmm.
And oh, hey girl. And then when I went to the Beat Junkies, I was like, oh shit, it's because I haven't bothered to learn all this dope infinite shit that just goes on forever and ever. So it really breathed a new life into my love of DJing and just keeping that student mentality, being like seeing the way that the Beat Junkies are in their, like to each other and to us at the school. They're so humble and they're so excited when you learn something hella simple even, but it just makes you appreciate like everything about the DJ community and how infinite the skill of DJing is and the art of music in general. Like you gotta do whatever you can to stay excited about it. And for me, that's learning and putting myself around people that are better than me.
I think that's 100 right there. A lot of people are very content on being the best in their group. And it's like, why? If you're the best in your group, you're not learning anything.
Yeah, so that's when you get bored too. Like that's when you get bored and you start to think, oh, I know this stuff. Like I got this. Like you got to get around people that challenge you, that make you nervous, that make your hands clench.
That's so funny. That's funny you'd say that because I see DJ L35 in the group. So I was invited to do an online scratch cipher, and but I'm practicing right now. And I'm like, I don't think I'm ready for that. But more importantly, it's that what I need to just get uncomfortable.
Yeah,
and I think a lot of people just need to get uncomfortable with stuff. Anything if 2020 and 21 taught you anything, it's that this is the time to be uncomfortable. This is the time to learn new stuff, to improve your craft, to improve your art, to learn something else. Find a new hobby. And I think a lot of people are doing that. I'm not saying that that a lot of people aren't, but I think there's a lot of more opportunities for people out there. They just need to realize that you're the vehicle. If you want to do something, it goes through you first. So interesting. Yeah. So Shorty, who's going to be on the show next month. Because as I was emailing her yesterday, 2 days ago, and she's like, "Oh my God, it's so great that you have Right Toast." Yeah, I'm like, the world is so small. It's incredibly small. But the DJ community. What I love about the DJ community, and what I'm starting to realize or understand a little more than I did before, especially during quarantine, is that, all of these DJ gods that we have, projected onto the mountainside, like this is, it's Babu and yeah, exactly. And there's Chalk and there's Melody and like all these people up there.
Definitely all the techies.
Yeah, right. Definitely. And then you sit down with them like in an interview and you're like, oh, you're just a normal person. You got kids, I got kids. There's all these little things that you're like, okay, they're just all growing too. And they keep on practicing and they keep on trying new things also. And, it's interesting. Homicide in the house. What's up, fam? So Shorty, how long has Shorty been mentoring you?
So probably about 3 years or so, maybe 2.5. I met her pretty soon after I started going to Beat Junkies. I don't know if you're familiar with Ladies of Sound, like kind of like female branch of Beat Junkies. So they were hosting all female scratch events. which that was those are so great because it's very rare to be scratching with just women. Usually if you're a woman and you're scratching, you're probably with all other guys. Oh, what's up? Shout out Jacksonville, Florida. DJ Six for tight. So I mean, I never thought about it until that event with Shorty, but all of a sudden I was like in a room at the Octagon with all girls, and like you kind of feel a little more comfortable.
Yeah.
And a little more
amazing.
courage and like a little more creativity and a little more spirit can come through. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with scratching with guys. There's not, but there's something about kind of like getting your comfort and your confidence up with like a group full of women. Then the next time that you do step up with guys, you just have like a little bit more swagger. I don't know why that is, but it is real. So those events that the ladies of Sound throw are really powerful for that reason. And I'll never forget that day I met Shorty. Right away, I was like, I think I emailed her that week, like, so what's up with private lessons? After one day with her, one lesson with her, even if you go and you do one of her YouTube tutorials that you can follow along with, you're better after one day Shorty. So once you get a taste of that, you're just like, okay, I need you in my brain more.
Yeah, it can be addicting. You know, I felt the same way. I have family and kids in college. I'm like,
wow,
I can't really afford private lessons right now. You know, but I know the value that they serve, because there's nothing better than you doing something. They're saying, oh, not only do I see your problem, but I know how to fix it, and I know how to communicate with you so you can fix it in this hour that we've had our lesson, as opposed to spending, 5 days with something and you're just not getting it. That person there is so invaluable, so I get it.
It's so true. That's one of the things this year has taught me, is to lean on my resources and to ask for help. Like if I'm bashing my head against the wall to try and figure out something on my website, but I have a homie that knows exactly the answer, like just call her. It's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
And people like to help. Like I love when I can help someone with like something in their yoga practice, or their back hurts, or if it's like a DJ thing. Like I love being able to help my friends. And so give people the opportunity to help you, because it feels good to them too.
Right. Yeah. Tell me though, have you felt, at least over the last year, that the community is far more together than ever before?
I've honestly always felt like the DJ community was tight. I guess I'm in that way. And I've kind of taken a little bit of a different approach than a lot of DJs this year. Like I haven't been doing the Twitch thing. I've been focused on other things that kind of speak to me a little bit more. So I think that it's beautiful what's happening online and on Twitch. But like I said, I've always felt like the DJ community is strong and healthy and together.
Yeah, it's I think it just depends on what part of the DJ community you're in, because I think before COVID, there were definitely legitimate pockets of people, the crews, almost like, okay, there's these people, they're all together, these people, they're all together, and not because they're trying to isolate themselves, but for whatever reason, that's just how it turns out.
Sure.
But it seems like all the factions, I guess you'd have to say, all the factions over quarantine have all kind of come together and realized that we're all in this together, and we're all trying to improve and help. And that's one of the things I think this year has taught us, that helping is far more rewarding than taking. Giving back is far more rewarding.
Yeah.
Because everybody wants to help now. People I thought would never even want to even have a conversation, or, oh, let me do this, let me do that. They're like, yeah, just tell me what you need. And okay, this is different, so it's a different year. I just hope that once we get out of this, and again, I think like the Beat Junkies, Scratch Pickle, like all of the turntablist communities, I think they exist on a completely different plane though. Like turntable people have all other turntable people's backs. It's not like club DJs who are like, you're here to take my spot, or
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Just a different vibe altogether.
I hear that. I hear that.
Yeah.
I think I've
Yeah.
been really fortunate to like have most of my DJ career be in the Bay and in LA, where there's two really strong DJ cultures and really
Yes.
strong turntablist cultures. And
Mhm.
so being able to come up in the Bay and witness crews like Scratch Pickles, crews like Triple Threat, amazing DJs like Plattern and like Finger Bangers from San Jose, and then to come down here and also going to the Beat Junkie shows every time they came through, which they did a lot because the Bay is so close. And then moving to LA and kind of like having the Beat Junkie school open and become a nucleus for that exact culture that you're talking about, where people are so supportive. There's competition, but it's like because we're sharpening our swords together with each other. I guess like that when I think of the DJ community, I think of those groups, and I feel really blessed to have kind of been immersed in that type of culture for pretty much my whole career.
Yeah.
But like, I also agree with you. Now there's more of a connection, like kind of like worldwide that's happening, which is really dope.
Yeah. And I mean, I know you're not on you haven't really been doing the Twitch thing, but just in general, I think we're seeing now dope ass people that you never knew existed before.
True.
Due to this and due to Twitch and having access to people, it's really been a great time. It's I love it, and I love that the Beat Junkies are on, and they're doing their thing, and Rhett Maddox got his show, and Chalk has his, and Chalk's show. I don't understand. People don't realize, like Chalk, I think it's Friday night. I think it's Friday night. His Friday night show is absolutely amazing. The man he's a wonderful guy though. You know Chalk. Chalk is just a dope individual.
So good. He's so good. He's so creative. He's so musical. He's so lovely. Like his whole aura and the way he is with people. He's awesome.
Yeah, I didn't do any Beat Junkie stuff. I took a couple of scratch courses just to kind of get better. It's funny. This is like, I think I took those courses like, I don't know, 10 years ago.
Oh wow.
So but not really though, because I'm still not to where I wanted to be. So I took these courses, but it wasn't at Beat Junkies. It was at Scratch Academy.
Nice.
When Chalk was there. My whole issue, and it's why I believe that one-on-ones are better, is it was a group. It's like when you take your courses and there's a group of people and you do it. The level that I was at versus the level that everybody else was at, for whatever reason, that's the way Scratch Academy did it, we would stop. So basically, we all performed at the lowest common denominator, the weakest link. And so people that were like, okay, I got that, now let's move forward, we had to wait. So I never got all the things that I wanted out of it. Nothing to do with Chalk, it was just one of those, it was the way they taught in the school. Yeah. So it's funny. So fast forward, 10 years and I'm doing this on my own. Although I think, even though in my video I said I'm just going to use nothing but like YouTube stuff and try to get all the information out of there, I don't think there would be anything wrong with, calling in a person, because I think it would help everybody out there to see. People have gravitated towards the struggle of learning how to be a better scratch DJ, because it's like this unicorn that people want to do, but it's when people don't necessarily take the time, because it's a mountain
climb for sure.
Yes.
And it's
yes,
never,
it really is. and it never, because I was talking to somebody recently and they're like, oh, it was DJ Puffy. You know, he won Red Bull a couple years ago.
Hmm.
Yeah. And he was on the show. He said, I have the scratches I know that work. He goes, but there's many scratches that I don't know that I'm still learning and still trying to perfect myself.
Yeah.
So when you hear things like that, where somebody's like a world champion at something and they're saying, nope, I still need to practice, I still need to work on it. It levels your attitude towards, oh, this is unattainable. You know what I mean? Like everybody can learn if they just take the time. The problem is time. People don't want to invest because it's a lot of frustration. It's like golf, you know, like you have one good game of golf and you're addicted, and then you try to do the same, try to repeat it, and you suck every time. But so you're frustrated, but you still want to learn. So you just keep, you know what I'm saying? It's weird. It's different.
It's that addiction of like, oh, you got it. Oh, it's gone. It's gone. It's gone. Oh shit.
Yes.
I got it. It's gone.
Oh, if that's not the most frustrating thing in the world. Like I'm practicing the boomerang scratch right now.
Nice.
And yeah, but I'll hear it. Like it's there, it's gone. You know, oh, it's there, I got it, it's gone. It's so frustrating.
That's it. And it's like, it's only until you can master the muscle memory of the technicality of the scratch, until it's ingrained in your mind, all the way down your arm, into your hands, into your fingertips. After that, that's when you can start to make it funky.
Right.
So
Yeah,
you have to get it into the point where you're not thinking about the fader and the record. You're just in the music and you can just perform it and make it sound like you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's 100% facts. Speaking of sounding like you, so I think you had said before, because when you're with Tyrone Jacket, that's your band.
Mm-hmm.
How long has the band been going on now? How many years?
3-4 years.
3-4 years. Okay. So, Arabian Prince in the house. What's going on, fam? Good to see you, man.
What's up, Arabian?
That's our guy.
Hell yeah.
But it's interesting because I think you said that when you first started in the band, you weren't necessarily confident about where you should exist.
Yeah.
Within the context of the band, because you got singer and you got the guitar, everybody's doing their own thing. How do you fit in? At what point? And actually, I think this might be a perfect example.
Oh gosh, what is this gonna be?
Oh no, it's fine. Because as you were saying this in an interview, there we go. I happened to be watching LA Drummer. I think it was this one. Where'd you go? Come back. There we go.
Thanks for stopping by. Tonight is Tymone's Jacket in St. Pete.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So.
Our first show ever.
So I want to. I want to pause there for a minute, because in your interview you had said, I wasn't sure what I was supposed to be doing. I wasn't sure my place. And I look at this. I'm only going off what you say. But so you know, I look at that, and then I look at where you are, and then I look at you now, and I look at your new videos and your new stuff, and it's almost like a moth, or, you know, not a moth, but like a worm getting into a cocoon and then coming out, and all of a sudden you're this butterfly. Aww. So at what point did you switch, like saying, you know what, I am a part of this. This is something that I can do, and damn it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah. It's always a work in progress, of course, mm-hmm. But it is so interesting to look back at some of our first shows and see how much I was kind of hiding and how uncomfortable, like, I can see that I felt. And I I remember that was our first big tour at a huge venue. We had driven all the way across the country to get there, and it was overwhelming as fuck. And then you have to perform.
Yes.
So, I mean, the way that the band started, it was my husband and his friend making beats, making songs, making videos, and then they started booking shows, and they needed a DJ. So, of course, naturally, I said, of course I'll DJ for you guys. Like, that's cute. You're my boyfriend. You know, like, this is going to be fun. And then as we started performing, getting more shows, starting to book tours, it was obvious that, like, the three of us had a thing, and that we decided that instead of me DJing for the guys, we were going to start a group, and it was going to be the three of us. And so going into it like that, me coming from like a DJ perspective, someone who's not educated on music at all, completely self-taught at that point, and then stepping into a container with two guys who I really looked up to and had a lot of respect for, as far as like singing, performing, songwriting, being able to play instruments. I didn't know how to do any of that. So I kind of felt like I felt small compared to them. You know, I felt like I didn't even know if I deserved to be there, but like they also wanted me there, and that meant something to me, right? So that alone, the way that they saw me really inspired me to, like, instead of shrinking away from this opportunity, let me sit in this discomfort and figure out specifically what it is that's making me feel less than. And then I'm going to work on strengthening those weaknesses. And in the process of that, that's like what pushed me to go to the Beat Junkie school, and a lot of time practicing, and like, that definitely just like helped motivate me to stay on this DJ track. And when I was feeling like maybe I'm over this, to really double down and be like, no, I haven't even really started yet. So that mixed with like we would be at shows, and there'd be little girls in the audience. And not like all little girls, but like there'd be some kids,
right?
You know, because like that was just the kind of scene that we were in, which I think is really cool. And so I'd be standing at the merch table after shows, and like in my head about the show and how it was, and like not really feeling comfortable. I'd be at merch, but I'm like, I know no one here really wants to talk to me. They just want to talk to the guys. I'm like in the back DJing. But like little girls would come up to me and look at me like with these big eyes, and they could barely speak to me and their moms would be like, she thinks you're so cool. She just wanted to come over and say hi. And I would like kneel down and like talk to them and like try to break down the ice a little bit and see them open up. And those experiences really made me realize that it's so much bigger than me. Like the fact that I have a platform and I can be on stage, to me, that means I have a responsibility to be myself to the max, because there's little girls looking at me. So if I'm up there and I'm in my shit, I'm not doing anybody any favors. And that's something that still gets me out of my head to this day, is the realizing it's not about me. It's about how many people you can help and inspire and connect.
That's such a great, by the way, a great statement there. And it's always frustrating to me, because not always, I'll bring people on, I'll bring ladies on, and I'll say, you know, talk about how it is, you know, being pushed through the community and growing in the community and getting to a place or a level that you're at. And people will say, oh, it's not about being a woman or this or that. It's, you know, we're all just great DJs. And I'm like, I'm not discounting that. I'm just saying that there are people out there that want to understand your struggle, because they're in the same boat as you, trying to figure out how they can get to the same level you're at.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think it's important that people see both sides of it, and not, you know, like, you know, I'm a black guy that, you know, is doing a talk show, and I have a tech thing on YouTube. You know, is that the norm? No, but people see it, and then they realize that, hey, I never thought about the fact that I'd want to do something like this. And now you're inspiring me to do it. And I think we have to realize our examples are the only, it's, that's how we've evolved as a species, by watching other people do things and realizing that we can continue to do. Hey, look, there's fire. Oh, I made fire. Let me show you how to make fire. Oh, let me show you how to make fire.
Yeah.
And now everybody's warm, unless you're in Texas and
Look at
they
that.
screw everything up.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
But that's so true.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just appreciating what you said, and I think you're right on. I think that when you're really engaged with the art of DJing or whatever it is that you do, there is no competition. So
Yeah.
you might as well help everybody learn and share your information and your experiences. And like a lot of days, I don't feel like I am where I want to be in my career. It's in some ways, but then I realize that, younger DJs come to me and they ask me for advice all the time. And like, that's so dope to be in a position where like I can help someone just by telling them a little bit about what I learned from my experience, and like maybe just save them from making a lot of mistakes that I made. And that's a lot. Like that's wealth right there. It's just, sometimes it's just
and we all make mistakes.
Yeah.
All of us.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And, and what I also noticed too, this has been an experience for me this year. I didn't realize that, I just kind of assumed ignorantly that I was the only one, because I'm older, I'm in my 40s, but I'm the only one that's like wants to do something like this. And then you get out there, you start looking around, you're like, okay, this is a touring DJ and they're older than me. And this is a person and they're this. It's like, it doesn't really matter. If you're dope, you're dope. Unless, and I don't assume you're trying to do, a whole bunch of pop clubs. I don't feel like that's your style. I'm sure you can do it.
Not
but,
anymore. Not anymore, man. I had that time. I loved it, but I'm gunning for something totally different now.
Yeah. So what are you gunning for? For your future?
Well, a lot of it is kind of unfolding in the moment, and but I can tell you what I do see, because I definitely feel like there's a lot of big things coming to me that I maybe don't know yet. But
gotcha.
I am really excited about using music and yoga to help empower communities. And that's kind of like where I'm going to leave it right now.
Okay. All right. Now, I haven't actually used your yoga. I was never really a yoga person. I know it's important. I know that it's actually an excellent stretching and core work. And I mean, it's fantastic for your body. If you've never done it, I'm like, you do it on Monday nights? Is it still a Monday night thing? Your yoga?
I've been doing it on Tuesdays. Where are you?
Okay. I'm local. I'm in Simi Valley, right outside the valley.
Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. So you're not in Cleveland.
I'm not in Cleveland.
Yeah, I do it on Tuesdays at 4, but I'm like about to kind of shift my whole thing around and come out with something new. So stay tuned.
Gotcha. Perfect. And I think this is a very unique opportunity. I have never once, I mean, what you're doing here is completely somewhere else. And I could see this as being something that could turn into a rather successful career. I mean, I know you were doing yoga before, but I'm talking about like I feel like there is a mass marketability to this because it's such a unique thing, that I think this thing could grow a lot. So
Thank you. I agree. I'm so excited about it. Like, it's so wonderful to talk about it. I get so jazzed, and like the response from our community has been so organic and so cool. I just feel like there's a perception of what yoga is in Western culture that's very limited. And just the simple fact of being able to use music like Jay Dilla and MF
Yes.
Doom and combine it with these ancient medicinal movements, like even if people don't take the class yet, but they just hear about it, I can
talking.
feel how it's like, okay, like kind of like you were saying, I've never done yoga. I'm not really a yoga person. But then when you hear someone saying, oh no, this is yoga and MF Doom, or this is yoga and Jay Dilla, a whole new sector of people's minds open up to the fact that maybe yoga could be for them, or maybe yoga isn't just what I thought it was. And that's what I'm really interested in. Like in the old model of yoga and studios and whatever, I thought at some point I would own a studio. Maybe I still will, but I always thought like I would want to open one in a place where there was no yoga. So I was bringing something new to a community that could really benefit and could really make a difference. And even though I'm not like opening a brick and mortar studio, I feel like by using music, I am going to be able to deliver the message to people who might not be listening if it wasn't for the music. And then at the same time, because I have a yoga community and a yoga following who's used to me just spitting yoga bars a cappella. And now they're coming to the yoga and mixtape classes and they're getting exposed to a whole different kind of music than they ever thought that they liked. And what the community that's being created is such a dope mix of DJs, rappers, moms, dads, like people who are healing from multiple sclerosis. You know, like it's such a wonderful container of dope folks. And it's like, I don't know, it's just so wonderful to watch it happen. And I feel like all I have to do is kind of keep sending out the message, and the right people are just kind of like trickling in and giving it their love and their energy. And it's already growing beyond like where I even thought it would go. So I'm just excited. I feel like whatever I see is awesome, but it's also limited because it's just me in here, and I'm going through all my filters of my bullshit. So I'm just trying to stay open to what the other messages are that are coming through about it, because it feels like a blessed project. That's for sure.
Gotcha. And honestly, you had me at Dilla, so it's all a win right there.
Right. Yesterday I got to, so I'm shooting these, like I'm creating these mixtapes, these produced mixtapes that are music in the background and my voice weaved in, like giving you the yoga directions.
Yes.
Plus a video of me doing the posture so you can see, you can listen, and you can follow along really clearly. So yesterday I shot the one for MF Doom. So that's going to be dropping pretty soon. And then Jay Dilla is going to come out next. So like if you don't get a chance to make the live class, you can still have like a really dope, well-produced experience of that class on demand.
Yeah, no, that sounds amazing. Honestly.
Thank you.
So so I'm looking at and I'm actually going to entertain a class. You know, that's my thing. Try. I actually started doing there's a yoga. I'm on the Beachbody app where you can pretty much pick whatever workout you want. It's all there. So I was like, let me try a yoga one, and I never felt more relaxed, even though it was hard. I never felt more relaxed afterwards, because I don't know if you do this. I don't even know if this is a thing. So I could be just saying stuff and you're like, come on, man. But at the end of the stretching and the workout, it's like, okay, now we're just going to meditate for, okay. So
that part.
I'm on the, yes. And that meditation part just leaves me like, okay, I should be doing this more. This will help with my alignment mentally also, because I get out of the meditation going, I have purpose now. And so, it's,
That's so
I will
great.
definitely do it.
I'm so glad you
Yeah.
had that experience. And yes, I got you. Come to yoga anytime. Please be my guest.
Thank you. Appreciate that. So,
course.
I see Boom Bap Kids, Silent John on the chat here, and they are a fan. Can you, a lot of people, we had Boom Bap Kids on the show, and they were super, super dope. Can you talk a little bit about your experience? And by the way, just so you know, I know everybody else knew you from the before and all this stuff. My first experience with you was the Boom Bap Kids show. And I remember seeing that show going, who the hell is this? Because this girl, not only is this girl dope, but it was the first time, or close to the first time, that it felt like the DJ was a part of the show. And not just a DJ while the guys did their thing. Because everybody else, if you watch them, they're always kind of like, what do we do right now? Everybody's like, do we just stand here? Do we keep DJing? Do we get involved? But you're out there, you're dancing with them, you're moving around. And that was the first time I was like, this girl is dope. Whoever she is, I need to find out who it is. And everybody's like, oh, that's Ritos. Come on, man. I'm like, I'm sorry. So talk a little bit about your experience with that.
Oh my God. The Boom Bap Kids are my family. What up, Silent John? Shout out Michael Steele, Woz, Jay Ski. That space, that studio, what they're creating is so special and so unique. And I just had like a little set prepared, and I got there and I just felt like so overwhelmed with all the love and all the fun energy that was floating through that studio. Like there's like snacks out, there's drinks out, there's like all these.
Oh, they had a craft table.
Oh yeah, it's a family affair, and I'm gonna go see them on Tuesday, so I'm really excited about that. But I think DJing on Twitch, like, I haven't done it all that much, but it can be really awkward if it's just you and like you feel like you're alone, but also like all these people are watching. So it's so cool to be able to do it with like a dope squad of puppets who are vibing with you, because they're feeding off the music and it just gives you something else to kind of do and interact with. And they're so darn cute, and they know all the words to like all the Wu-Tang songs.
Every song.
Yeah.
Every song. No matter what you play, they know the words. It's bizarre.
They're rapping, they're dancing, they're like doing rapper hands. Like, it's just so fun. So, man, I love the Boom Bap Kids. I'm so happy for them, seeing their community grow the way that it has. And they are really like spreading so much joy during this time. Yes. And that's like, you can't put a price on that. That's really, it's like doing God's work on the devil's freaking playground.
Yeah, I agree. And just like humble dudes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just like regular people that are like, oh, we wanted to do something. Because I'm like, I don't even understand how you go from puppets or no puppets to puppets. Like, I don't even understand that transition. I'm like, well, if we're going to make a Sesame Street for hip hop adults. Let's do that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Impressive.
They were telling me about like what they were doing, and I'd see a puppet here and there, but I didn't really understand it. I mean, they've been working on this project for a long time before you ever saw a show on Twitch. So it's so cool to see, like, now I realize what they were talking about the whole time. And the puppets have come a really long way. Like, they were always dope, but now they're like so lifelike, and they really nail like the features of each character that they do. And also, special shout out to Silent John. He's an incredible producer. His beats are fire, and he's sent me a couple. So hopefully we'll have some tracks coming out in the future. Collabs.
Wait, hold on. Silent John is sending you a couple. Where are my beats, Silent John? I got an email. I'm gonna be on blast.
I can see beats. Yeah, he's a super dope producer.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, they've been kind of pushing out a whole bunch of clips lately, and I gotta remember the song, but I will. They have a remix for one of their tracks that's just like fire. But that's also what's good now. I've been opened up musically to so much good music, and I mean I knew it existed, but you never knew. Like you'd always see a dope DJ, some top tier. It could be like a Jazzy Jeff, and he's playing an edit. You're like, where the hell did you get that edit from?
Yeah.
Now we know there is a group of people that they all share. This is one of those things that it's probably a secret, but like there are huge Dropbox communities of DJs, and they do nothing but share edits to one another. So they're all like having dope, amazing remixes of tracks, and we're playing radio versions. But they exist. You just have to know where to look. Shout out to Mighty Rel. Mighty Rel is my guy too. He sends me a whole bunch of stuff too.
What up, Mighty Rel? Much love. Thanks for sharing this flyer too.
Yeah. So you have the yoga thing. What else do you got planned? And I should say, since we're still in quarantine, what's your plan for DJ life after quarantine lifts?
I'm just gonna stay open and keep doing things that inspire me, and that's it. That's my plan.
Fair enough.
I say yes to DJ gigs that get me excited.
Okay.
Because that's what it takes for me to put a set together. Like I need to feel the momentum behind it. I've been really blessed to have this relationship with Spin Magazine. And I've been doing some DJing. I've been DJing their cover shoots throughout quarantine, which has been really cool.
I saw that. That's dope.
Yeah. So like these kind of like craft DJ sets I'm really into, like creating an environment for a specific artist to feel a specific way. That's inspiring to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm doing a little birthday set for my homie Plush next week. And continuing to create these yoga mixtapes, which I'm super amped on, and also just expanding on music. Like I'm doing more production, I'm doing more writing and more recording, and I'm looking forward to sharing more of that. Just kind of expanding in general. That's like my vibe right now.
That makes perfect sense. And by the way, where your social, is it DJ Rye Toast or just Rye Toast?
On Instagram, it's at Rye Toast.
At Rye Toast, okay. And here, I think it's Rye Toast here too, right?
On Twitch?
Yes.
Twitch is DJ Rye Toast. It's either Rye Toast or DJ Rye Toast across like all platforms, something like that.
Gotcha. And now let's talk a little bit of, we got the Rye, that's Ryan. Where did the toast come from?
That's just been my nickname since I was a baby. Like, I don't even remember a time when people weren't calling me that. So, started with my dad and my mom, and it just translated to school and college and friends.
But did it mean anything though? When they're like, "Oh, we call you Toast because you are."
I think it's because my name, like rye bread.
Rye bread.
Rye toast.
Rye toast. Okay.
My dad just came up with it. He started calling me rye wheat toast, and then shortened it to Rye Toast, and then that's just what stuck.
Gotcha. And your entire life, you've been Rye Toast.
That's impressive. I couldn't run away from it, even though I tried at times. Then I was like, oh, fuck it. Yeah. Everyone's still calling me this. I'm just gonna go with it.
It is definitely, but it works. It works for you. It works for everything you're doing. I want to open it up just for the last few minutes to anybody in the chat that has any questions for Rye or anything. Ask away in the chat right now. Just put a hashtag ask. That way we can spot out the ones that we want to answer. So please, if you have any questions, throw them out there. And let's see what what nice questions people have for you. Um, so now, while people are doing that, where are you out of? I know you're local, but what part?
I'm in West LA.
West LA. Gotcha,
Mhm.
gotcha. So, what are you doing with? So you got the Spin magazine thing, and that's a long day. I mean, I've done a couple of those. That's like 8 or 9 hours of like continuous DJing. Sometimes that can get insane.
Yeah. It's usually not like that much actual DJing, but it is a long day in terms of like you have to be there early and set up and you have to be there all the way to the end. And like there's usually phases where they don't want music because they're recording an interview. So there's like I know how to kind of pace my sets and like when to really lock in, like when they're really shooting like the shot, that's when you really have to be present and be DJing, be curating the moment very appropriately. And then there's other times where it's like you're just keeping the energy up for the staff and the camera guys and the production team
Yes.
and the artist is like in the back. So it's just like I don't know. I'm just more. I think I'm just inspired by like the specificness of the situation and like the specificness of the energy that needs to be created. Like that's an interesting challenge to me.
People don't realize that what you play for the working people is far more important than what you typically play for the artist. Like keeping the photographer and the people that are helping out, keeping them energized is going to translate so much more than typically what you play for them. I've always found it interesting that way because after a gig like that, they always come up, "Oh, thank you for playing that music. I was exhausted, and you kept me going." So
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
I feel that, and like I remember feeling that same type of thing when I was doing more clubs and stuff. Like, yes, I want to keep the crowd happy, of course, but like I also want the bouncers to be vibing. I want the bartenders to be vibing. I want the busboys to be vibing. And there's certain parts of your set I feel like where you can throw things out to connect with them, like the beginning, before people get there.
Of course,
You can just set a nice tone that like, okay, like I'm gonna take care of you guys tonight. I understand what this is. I know how to make this environment fun and cool and sexy, and I know how to make it so you guys make money. Like you can relax. I got this. So I feel like that's like a parallel from the old world is like, yes, of course you want to keep the talent happy or the crowd happy, but you also like you want to keep your coworkers happy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and especially, I mean, we've all been there at clubs where maybe the numbers just weren't where they were supposed to be, and you're DJing and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna start DJing really just for me because this is kind of I'm the only one here now, so let's just have fun. And what do? You start playing for you, which typically translates into playing for the bartenders and the wait staff and all that stuff because they're used to hearing the same old. So just changing it up, they're like, oh, thank God I don't have to hear, turn down for what for the 57th million time. So
Exactly. And I think that like as a DJ, it's really important to have fun when you're DJing. I've been at parties where I look up at the DJ booth and the DJ looks like stressed or like a robot or just like locked into their computer. And I know how hard it can be at times, but like it's important to remember that you're creating energy for people. So it all starts with you and where you're at. And that's like a huge parallel for me with teaching. Like I need to be in a good zone in order to deliver the message to people. So I don't put my crap on other people because if you just showed up to a party or you just showed up to a yoga class, chances are that's the best part of your day. So who am I as like the curator of that container to shit on that?
Yeah. It makes sense. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
DJ Southland asks,
what up, Southland?
What's your weekly practice schedule like, and how do you decide what you're going to practice? Good question.
My weekly practice schedule is determined by what my gigs are and what I'm preparing. So that's kind of how I plan it. Like, for instance, what do I have coming up? Oh yeah, I'm working on a new yoga mixtape and I have a DJ set on Tuesday. So this weekend is going to be dedicated to those two, the performance, the mixtape, and also just warming up my hands, because I haven't been scratching all that much lately. I've been like doing more teaching and back end business stuff. So before I go to perform live, I like to get my hands ready. And also like taking a large chunk of my day, like a good like 3-hour chunk of my day. So I'm not like looking at the watch. I know I can just go in, and taking my time with like a scratch session and having no need for anything to come out of it except like feeling really connected to my fingertips. Like I'm not trying to record anything right now. I'm not trying to like make a video or a routine. I just want to get back into my hands again. So, and what I'll probably do to start off is go to Shorty's YouTube and play one of her scratch workouts that I can just follow along with. And, you know, she takes you through such a warm up that goes from like super basic stuff. Like you don't even touch the fader. You're just on your record hand for like the first 20, 30 minutes, which I love. I just love having like a really slow, it's like a really slow stretch to warm your body up. Same thing for DJing, a really slow foundational scratch practice where I'm just like, just enjoying the feel of records again.
Yeah, I agree. By the way, Stink Palmer in the house. What's going on, fam? Good to see you. Also, Tweak Music Tips in the house. That's my guy right there. Make sure you're following Tweak Music Tips. Yeah. So, I kind of follow the same thing as you. Like for instance, on Monday, I'm doing Boom Bap Mondays, which is a Twitch thing on Monday. Yeah. So, but typically I get my sets ready based upon what I'm going to be doing in the future. If I'm not doing anything, then it's all just freestyle, whatever. But like Boom Bap, I'm not, even if I'm scratching, I'm not scratching over anything that's not Boom Bap because I'm preparing for the show. So I get that. I get that. So here's a question that I will ask, because people haven't asked this question. Your first turntable purchase was when you were about 21 years old. 20 years old. I think you said in one thing that do you still use the same original turntables, or have you finally upgraded? Still use the same ones?
I mean, they're Technique 1200s, and I get them serviced like 6 months or so, and like I don't need to upgrade.
Yeah, no, and you're right. You're right. If they're built to last, they're tanks.
I've upgraded the mixer many times.
So what mixer are you currently using?
I'm on the S9, which I love.
Okay. So you haven't tried the S7 or the S11 yet?
I haven't had a chance, but I'm excited to, for sure.
Yeah. You're going to be very happy. Even just moving over to the S7. Okay. So, but I have seen you on controllers. Like I've seen you on the DDJ 1000. Do you own one yourself, or is this just on certain videos?
I do. I have owned a couple controllers, and I usually sell them back because I don't really enjoy using them, but they can make your life so much easier.
Yes.
So yeah, currently I have one. It's the DDJ SRT, which is the one
the 1000 SRT.
Yeah.
The Serato version.
Right. So I'm on that, and like I haven't used it because I got it for traveling. So I haven't really used it much. However, I'm doing a retreat. I'm doing like this dope yoga and boudoir photo shoot retreat in March. It's called Persephone Unleashed. And I'm going to be teaching some yoga and mixtape classes, as well as like DJing the final night. So I'm going to bring it for that, because I think it'll just be easier to carry around from location to location. And to get ready for that, I'm definitely going to pull it out a few weeks early and just like kind of refamiliarize myself with everything. But I think the ask for that particular gig is going to be pretty chill. They're not going to like really be looking at me for turntablism or, that type of stuff. Yeah. So I think it'll be a good choice. And, you know, I'm glad I have it in my arsenal for things like that.
Yeah, I own a couple of 1000s, and I just demoed the Rain 1. And the Rain 1 is basically like a mini version of 12s and a Rain 70. The 1000 up until the Rain 1 came out was the closest thing for me, for somebody that likes turntables, to use as a controller.
Right.
It felt the closest to it. The Rain 1, however, obviously you're literally using turntables on the Rain 1 because they have motorized platters.
Wow.
Yeah, but that 1000 is still a beast to this day. Still a great controller. Honestly.
Yeah, got a pretty good feel to it. Like Serato asked me to come in and record like a mix on it last year, or maybe like a year and a half ago. And that's when I used it for the first time, when I recorded that mix. And I was like, this is pretty dope, and feel like I like the feel. It's instinctual. So a couple months after I tried it, I was like, I'm just gonna get it because it's good to have, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I think you're talking about this guy.
Yeah, I think so too. Like I said, you did your homework.
I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't do my homework.
Oh yeah, that's it for sure.
Yeah,
There
I'll
we go.
check out this ask. I love the fact that you have the candle chilling on your mix too. Like, that's great.
Oh yeah, I have a couple back here too. Little RBG, little Kobe action.
Oh yeah. So that's funny. That is funny. So now how did Serato approach you to do that, by the way?
Well, I've known Sonny James for a minute. He's like, you know, he works for Serato on the West Coast, but he's also an incredible DJ. And so he just texted me and asked me if I wanted to come in and do it. And I was like, of course.
Gotcha.
Anything for Serato family.
Yeah, they're really. I've developed a really good relationship with Serato this past year, and
Nice.
they're really good people. Love Cut Corners, Sonny James, like they're all great people. And Divine Justice says NS7 line has been turntables controller for a minute. Look, I'm gonna say this one time. I don't have a problem with the NS7, but it's not a portable controller. The 1000 is definitely it's weight wise. It's a heavy machine. So NS7 is like, okay, I don't want turntables, but I have this big ass controller. But it's still a great controller. It's just not portable. That's all. Okay. Any more questions for Right Toast? Diamond Lee says, yeah, NS7 equals tank. Yeah, that's the world we live in. Nobody can just be happy for the product that's in front or the person that's in front. They always have to compare it to something else. It's like, look, just be happy for what it is. It's a nice little controller. It doesn't have to be better or a competition. It can just be.
But for me, if I have a controller, it better be light, because that's the whole reason that I'm doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Diamond Lee asks, what is your favorite tattoo?
Ooh, that's a great question. I really like this.
Oh, hold on, let me get into you.
It's like a queen cobra kind of striking.
The one. Yeah, gotcha. So
Yeah.
when did you get that one?
That's like a newer one. I got it a couple years ago only, maybe like two years ago. The last one I got was I got my back done, and that took like a year's worth of sessions. It was like 8 sessions. And
Gotcha.
I love that tattoo. I guess like my newer tattoos are usually my favorites because I'm like, I notice them more. But
Right.
Tattoos really hurt. I don't know if you knew that.
Yes. No, I know. I have a couple. Which is always funny to me because I'm a darker guy, and every time I go on for a tattoo, they're like, "I'm sorry, you want a tattoo?" I'm like, "Yeah." This was before it was like a thing where everybody was tatted up.
Yeah.
So when I first got mine, because I have a couple of music related tattoos, like one on my shoulder, one on my belly button. And the guy's like, it's not really going to show that well. I'm like, it's not for anybody else. It's for me. So put the damn tattoo on. You know what I'm saying? But interestingly enough, this is a personal question for me. At what point were you like, you know what? I'm going to get a head tattoo and that's it. Like, at what point did that happen? Because that takes a special focus, a special individual to be like, I'm ready for the head tattoo.
I know. I don't know what I was thinking. I was just like, this looks cool. I'm gonna do it. Well, by that point, I already had like my whole neck done. So I feel like the tipping point for me was like even earlier. Like my first neck tattoo was this boombox right here.
Okay.
So after that, I was like, all right, I'm pretty much committed to this being what it is.
Right.
And you know, I'm just gonna let it fill out as it goes.
Now, are you going to slide over to the front and do any part of your face itself?
I don't have any plans to get any tattoos right now, to be honest. Like they start hurting more and more the older you get. And quite frankly, I'm not into the pain anymore. Like in my old age. So I don't know. I really don't know. I just like, I'm good where I'm at. Maybe I'll get more, maybe I won't. Probably I'll get more, most likely.
Yeah.
But
Everybody always says, the fact that you said, I am not basically prepared to get a tattoo at this time. Like that leaves the door open for something else. Not an absolute.
Yeah, I mean, but for me, for a while, like I always had an appointment on the books. So it was like, oh, what are you getting next? Oh, well, March 3rd, I'm getting a fucking snake on my head. But when you ask me that now, I'm like, I'm good. Yeah. I'm good. It's like, I feel like this whole year, it's been hard. It's been excruciating. It's been painful. I feel so much more sensitive than I ever have. And I think that's a good thing because I also like, I'm just getting more in tune with myself and like my just everything. Yeah. But from where I sit now, I'm like, no, I don't really want to pay money to have shit blasted into my skin. It's not how I feel right now.
I get you. I get you. And no, Tweak, it's not a tramp stamp that I have. Come on, man. That's on the back, not on the front. So I only have 2 tattoos at the moment. I have one on my shoulder that says music, and it's always one of those things where it's like, what is it? What does it mean? Oh, cool. And yeah, so it means music, but it's always like you got to check the other dialects. It's like it means music in this, but it could mean like kill your mother in another in a completely different one. So you always have to be careful. And then I have around my belly button, I have a bass clef. So that's because I love music. I'm supposed to be getting one more. I'm supposed to be getting one to share with my daughter. So what we did was we basically just said like I love you in a voice recorder, and then I took it and I moved it into like Pro Tools, and I took the waveform, and we're gonna get the waveforms tattooed on us. Yeah. So that's we were supposed to get it a while back, and then things happened, and then COVID happened. So it's still gonna happen. It's just taking a little more time.
That's really, really beautiful. Oh, I love that. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully it'll be cool. Cause obviously if you just take the waveform, you gotta spruce it up a little bit because the waveform doesn't always work. But it's interesting. I don't even know if you know this. Have you seen the ones where not only is it the waveform, but if you hold something over, it'll actually play the waveform? Like insane.
Yeah, I thought of that. I thought that's what you were about to say. I don't know too much about that process, but I've just seen a few things about it, and I'm like, wow, that's next level.
It really is. It really is. So Chinese letters, it says soup. It might say soup. You never know. You never know. All right. So
I love soup.
So yeah, exactly. Who doesn't love soup? So I've kept you on for a while, honestly, and I appreciate you hanging out today.
course.
I've actually loved this chat. Loved. And I love the kind of person you are. I think we need more people in the world like you, because I think you you make a difference on a completely different, like, astral plane. Like, I might be the tech guy and tell you how to run your Serato and all these things, but like, you're helping us for the afterlife and preparing for, like, being human beings. So I appreciate you for hanging out today. Honestly, thank you.
I appreciate you for seeing me and wanting to talk to me. Like, this is so cool, and thank you for what you're doing as well. Like, just bringing people together and strengthening community during this time is super important. And also, like, don't downplay tech tips, because I need them. So that's really important too. We got to work together and keep each other growing.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, to be honest with you, I did not know. I didn't know my reach until I started doing these shows. And when I'm talking to people and they're like, "Oh yeah, I watched this and this helped me out doing this and this helped me out doing this," I'm just like, because I tell people this, you never know who's behind the view numbers, the view count. You know what I mean? So I didn't know. Like, I just assumed that all the bigger DJs, like the Scratch Bastards and all these guys are just like amazing. I just assumed that, like, they had other people that always just took care of stuff for them. But when I find out, oh yeah, I watch your stuff all the time, and like, what I say this, one of my favorite dudes is DJ Evil D from Black Moon, and he was on Tweak Music Tips talking about, he was like, "Oh, Cleveland Terry, oh man, thank you, man, I love your stuff." And Matt Skills was like that, and I was just like, okay, I'm good now. I'm good.
So freaking cool.
Yeah. So it's I think everybody out there, it's been enlightening and spiritual for everybody. Hopefully that they've gotten through this year and hopefully come into a better place, because I know this year has absolutely sucked for a lot of people, especially DJs and the entertainment community. But I think we've come together, and it's been good across the board. So thank you for hanging out today. Honestly, ladies and gentlemen in the chat, I need you guys to throw up the wake up emotes. One question they were asking, what your plan is. Are you going to come onto Twitch at any point in DJ?
Yeah,
Yourself,
absolutely.
Not okay. So make sure you guys are following, and on YouTube, on Twitch, it's DJ Rye Toast.
Yep.
And I will put that up in the chat. Mods, if you can post her Twitch stuff, that would be fantastic. As far as her socials, anything else, like on IG, where she spends a lot of her time, Rye Toast is just there. Twitch, yeah. DJ Rye Toast. Check out her website. Your website pissed me off, because I looked at it and I was like, God damn it, I really gotta finish my website, because your website it's good. It's clean.
Thank
Good
you.
job.
I felt that looking at many other DJs' website. I'm like, this is so damn it. But yeah, check me out at Rye Toast. I'm usually on there pretty much daily. My yoga project is at Yoga and Mixtapes or yogaandmixtapes.com. You can take a free on-demand class anytime you need on, like, the link in my bio and on my website. Like, if you want to see a little bit about what I'm doing with yoga and music, there's always a way. There's always an asset for you that's available. And so I encourage everyone to just go and check it out. It's a 60-minute yoga mixtape with a video that you can follow along to. And it's a full body workout. And at the end, just like Cleveland said, you have a nice meditative savasana and you feel peaceful and energized, and tap the fuck in. And my band Tyrone's Jacket, we're at Tyrone's Jacket. We just put out our debut record in November. So head over to wherever you listen to music and check that out.
Yeah, so Tyrone's Jacket, they're a dope band. I had to run out to see my daughter in Santa Barbara, and I was like, I need to get more informed on the group. And I played the whole album and I'm just like, this is really, really, really good stuff.
That's cool. Thank you.
Yeah, it reminded me because I used to be in a band. I play guitar and produce and all that stuff. And it was like, oh God, I remember that time when you made an album and it's like everything is just so fresh. It's like your baby. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
good stuff though. Good work. And I did hear, what is the song? The one for LA, Tight?
On tilt.
What's On Tilt? Thank you. Sorry. On Tilt, which was, and that's where you scratching that one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because when I was listening, at first I was playing the music and I was like, okay, I was trying to gather. I'm like, so is she producing? Like, what part does she play in this? And I was trying to understand. And then I was like, okay, I get it now because you can hear the progression. Because most people maybe don't know this, but when you make an album, especially if it's like your first album, it is a series of progressions to whenever you get to your final sound. So the songs may be like grossly different all the way through. And I noticed that there was a lot of change ups, and because I remember that, you start with one thing, and then by the time you finally get your sound, it's completely different. But the beginning songs were just as good, but it's different now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
it's crazy because the stuff we're working on now, like now I'm like, oh, now we're clicking into like what I think our sound is actually going to be.
yes.
But we have to get those out so that we could get the next batch kind of coming through. But it's all love. It's all blessed. The process has been awesome, and I'm just eager for what's coming.
I'm actually jealous of where music is right now, because when we came out with ours, all we had was like CD Baby, and printing up your own CDs and selling them on the shows, which look, you're probably like me. The shows are where it's at anyway. The shows are just so amazing.
Yeah.
But like, we didn't necessarily have the fact that you could make an album. Oh, I'm gonna put this on iTunes. It's gonna be on all these distribution points. Like, that wasn't a thing back then. So I'm always envious of where people are now. The success they could have without really having to like get have somebody behind you pushing you forward. Like, you can actually succeed on your own in music now. It's just a different world.
It's true. World. I mean, it's kind of overwhelming how much stuff you could do for yourself. And I think for that reason, a lot of people put out music. So when you do go and listen to music, like, you're sorting through a lot to find something that like you can feel, So it's just a different landscape. But yeah, there's a lot of good that's happening right now musically too.
Of course. I think as DJs, I have been, first off, I haven't played a new record, like a new current record, I think since we might have started quarantine, maybe a month afterwards. I've only been playing stuff that I want to hear, or playing stuff that like it resonates, internally. So I don't even know what's going on nowadays, but I know that the music I play that I love, that's all you got.
Totally. I think that's been one of the greatest blessings for DJs specifically about this year. At least for me, I'll speak for myself.
Yeah.
I've spent like the last decade figuring out what other people want to hear and making that go. And this year I've been reconnecting with what I want to listen to and just leaving space for that instead of always being in the mindset of like, oh, that's going to work on Friday night.
Yes.
So I feel a lot more like grounded in who I am as a artist, as a DJ, rather than like I'm here to just kind of reflect back what you already like. That makes sense.
It's going back to the way we used to do things. As a DJ, breaking records and actually letting people know this is a great song. You should like this. And then you being, Toastmakers. We stopped doing that.
I'm taking that.
Yeah. Please do, please do. Oh, Diamond Lee, I know he's asking when the next time she'll be on Twitch. I don't even think you know when you're going to be on Twitch. Do you have a
Oh,
time?
I'm gonna be performing on Twitch on Tuesday night for
Oh, there you go.
birthday, and I don't know if that's gonna be a Bap Kids stream, but I'll definitely be putting out the information. So if you just like get at me on Instagram at Rytos, follow me, I'll follow you back. I follow back all DJs, and I'll put the info out probably Monday or so when I get the time locked in and the Twitch channel. So Tuesday.
Perfect. Tuesday. All right. Well, there you go. You got your answer. We will definitely be there. You know, you can always any Boom Bap Kids is always a good Boom Bap Kids. So it'll be great with you on it. So hey, thank you again. Appreciate you for hanging out today. You're welcome. We will chat later, but I'm gonna sign you off. Hey, people in the chat, if you found this interesting, throw the wake up emoji in the chat. Throw the wake up emoji in the chat. Let her know that you appreciated this, because this is what we're doing here. We need more mohawks and less dreadlocks. I don't even know what that means.
Thank you everybody for tuning in and listening to us, and hope to see you guys all soon on a stream.
Yeah, definitely agreed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, one more time. Let's see if my actual applause works. Do you hear applause? Yeah, there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for Rye Toast. Tyrone's Jacket, Rye Toast. We'll see you soon.
All right. Bye, Cleveland. Thank you.
Sure. Bye. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do that. There we go. Fantastic. Make sure I got music. Fantastic show. Look, this is always what I want. Perspectives into the world. It's about bringing on people that may have an opinion different than yours. And that's what this show is about. People see the wake up in Cleveland and they assume it's because it's morning. And yes, while it is about being in the morning, because typically that's when the show is, it's more about waking up to yourself, waking up to the person you are, waking up to life. I want to bring more than just the same old stuff to the program. So I want to thank everybody for hanging out today. This was a great show, and we'll cut it up as we always do and throw it up on the interwebs as we always do. Once I find some nuggets that I want to do, a couple of more videos. Oh yeah, I wasn't taking it person, Divine Justice, at all. Darth Vader in the house. What's going on, fam? Good to see you. Yeah, but because as France said, as Gas by Guidance said, not in France. Yeah, I know it's later there. For a lot of people, it's like 6 o'clock, 10 o'clock, depends on where you are. So wake up is about waking up mentally, spiritually. Anyway. So guys, thank you guys for hanging out. This is great. It actually, because I do have stuff to do, I am excited that the Innofader should be being delivered really soon. And then that way I can put that in my Rain 70 and start testing that out. I'm actually excited for that. I really am. Let's see. Steve says, have you ever been to Cleveland? And the answer is no. Never been to Cleveland. Ever. Been to many places throughout the States, but never Cleveland. Probably a reason for that. Let's see who else we got here. Teak Music Tip says, why are you nicer with pretty female guests and mean to regular looking dudes like me? You can probably answer your own question, Tweak. Mixmaster, hey, thank you, man. Appreciate you. All right, so thank you so much, Fader. Appreciate that, man. I try. But what we're going to do, speaking of trying, we need to see who is on before we schedule this raid, and if I can get to my raid point here. 11:52. This is a bad time to be doing anything at 11:52. Who should we raid? You know what? I don't know. Looks like Spinurita's doing a raid. NYC Dope is on. Are they? Really? How come I'm not seeing them? All right, let's take a look here. Wait. Oh, he's on a raid train. Yeah, I want to get to somebody that's actually actually either just starting or they are going to be on for a little while longer. You know what? So let's raid. You know what? Let's raid somebody small. Let's see what. Hold on. Yeah, let's raid 559 DJ Juice. He's one of the guys that follows me. So let's do that real quick. Let's do him. Pause. Let's see if he comes. Am I spelling this right? 559 DJ Juice. Why is it telling me no results? Well, that's rude. 559 underscore DJ Juice. Am I going crazy here? Hey, let me know if somebody else can see 559 DJ Juice, because for whatever reason it's coming back to me saying that there's nobody there. There is an underscore. So let me know if you get to him, if he's there, because I'm trying, but it won't pop up in my thing here. No results found. Am I silly? Is that a 5? Throw it in the T Diesel. See if you can set that raid up for him, because it's not coming up under my raid channels for whatever reason. I know he's on. I can't raid. Can one of my mods set the raid? I believe I gave you rights, T Diesel. Oh, he just sent me a whisper. Okay, let's see. All right, there we go. Thank you for that. Appreciate you guys. Don't know why it's not popping up. It's, sometimes Twitch just doesn't want to work properly. Yeah, it's working now. So I appreciate that. So for everybody else that is hanging on, make sure you hang on for the raid. Get over there, show some support to the guys. Obviously, we are we're all working towards something here. So let's show some love. Make sure that you throw up the emotes to let the man know, you know, where you came from. Darth Vader, thank you so much, man. Yeah, I'm just glad that the partner is over. So now I can just move forward to just doing dope ass shows. That's really what I'm trying to do here. I just want to do dope ass shows. So, all right, guys, we're gonna do this raid in half a second. I will be back on. Actually, two different things. I will be back on Monday. I might do a Sunday stream, but I'll be back on Monday. I'm doing Boom Bap Mondays at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Monday. And then we are doing the Wake Up Show. All right, looks like the raid started. All right, guys. So we will see you soon. We're heading over to this raid right now. Enjoy your day.